Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue the book, the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read it. That was his cry, as Hector put a fresh fighting spirit in each man. But Ajax fired the troops on his side too. Shame your Argives, all or nothing now, die or leave and drive defeat from the ships. You want this flashing Hector to take the fleet, then each man walk the waves to regain his native land? Can't you hear him calling his armies on full force, this Hector, wild to gut our house with fire? He's not inviting them to a dance. Believe me, he commands them into battle. No better tactics now than to fight them hand to hand with all our fury. Quick! Better to live or die once and for all, than die by inches, slowly, crushes to death, helpless against the horse in the bloody press, by far inferior man. And that was Ajax's cry, as the giant put a fresh fighting spirit in each man. But Hector cut down Schedulus now, Perimedes' son, a Phocian chieftain, and Ajax killed Laodamas, captain of infantry, Antenor's splendid son, and Polydamas killed Silenus Altus outright, Meges' friend. One of the proud Epians' leaders, Meges saw him drop, and he longed at Polydamas fast, but he ducked and veered away, and Meges missed him. Apollo was not about to let him fall at the front, not a panther's son, but Meges did hit Chromis, stabbed him square in the chest with a thrusting lance, and down he crashed, with Meges tearing the armor off his back as the Trojan Dolops hound at him. A crack spearman, Laomedon's grandson, Lampus' big and brawny son, the strongest he seared, the best trained for assault. Dolops quickly went for Meges at close range. He speared his bulging shield, but the solid breastplate warded off the blow with both plates fitted tight to bind his body. The gear his father brought from Ephora once, the Salis banks where his host, the Lord Euphetes, gave him that sturdy bronze to wear in battle, to bear off the bloody attacks of desperate men, and now it saved his son's young flesh from death. So Meges chopped at the crown of Dolops' bronze helmet, split its spinning ridge with a sharp cleaving spear, and sheared away its bristling horsehair crest. Down in the dust, the wall grate tumbled, all still glistening bright in its fresh purple dye. But the man stood his ground till rearing to fight, his hopes still soaring for triumph. But now Menelaus, Atreus out for blood, moved in to fight for Meges, spear poised in his grip, in from the behind side, and struck from behind the Trojan's shoulder so hard. The spear came jutting out through his chest in all its fury, and Dolops reeled and sank, face down on the ground. The two men swarmed over him, ripping the armor off his back as Hector called his kinsman on, all his kinsmen, but marked out Hesiton's son, the strong Melanippus, railing first at him. He used to graze his shambling herds in Pacote long ago, when the enemy's forces stood far off, but once the rolling ships of Achilles swept ashore, home he came to Troy, where he shone among the Trojans, living close to Priam, who prized him like his sons. But Hector rebuked him now, shouting out his name, Melanippus, how can we take things lying down this way? No qualm in your heart for this? Your cousin's dead. Can't you see how they are crawling over Dolops' armor? Follow me now. No more standing back. No fighting those Argives at distance. Kill them hand to hand now before they topple towering Ilium down. All our people slaughtered. So with a shout, he surged ahead, and his gallant cohort followed. But great Telamonian Ajax speared his Argives on. Be man, my friends, discipline fill your hearts. Dread what comrades say of you here in bloody combat. One man dread them more than come through alive. When soldiers break and run, goodbye glory, goodbye all defenses. Up in arms as they were to shield themselves, they took his word to heart, and round the ships they raised a wall of bronze. But against them Zeus impelled the Trojan ranks, as Menelaus, lord of the war cry, urged Antilochus. None of the younger troops, Antilochus, none is faster on foot than you or tougher in combat. Why not leap right in and lay some Trojans out? Menelaus withdrew as he drove Antilochus on, out of the front, his brawn, glaring left and right, and hurled his spear. A glinting brazzle streak, and the Trojans scattered, cringing before this shaft. No wasted shot. Antilochus hit Hesiton's son, impetuous Melanippus, sweeping into battle, slashed him across the chest beside the nipples. Down he crashed, and the darkness swirling his eyes, with Antilochus rushing over him like some hound, pouncing down on a deer that is just been wounded. Leaping out of his lair of hunters bearded, a lethal hit that is losing its springing limbs. So staunch, Antilochus leaped at you, Melanippus, stripping away your gear, but Hector marked it now, and straight through the rug. He charged Antilochus hard, quick as the fighter's was. He could not hold his ground. Not there. He toned tail and broke like a rugged beast that is done some serious damage, mauled a dog to death, or a herdsman tending flocks, and takes to his heels before the guns of man can group and go against him. So Antilochus turned and ran as a savage cry went up, and Hector and all his Trojans showering deadly shafts in hot pursuit, but he wheeled and stood his ground when he reached his throwing cohorts. Now to the ships, now like a prod of man-eating lions, the Trojan forces stormed the fleet, fulfilling Zeus' strict commands. As Zeus kept building their fury higher, stunned the Argives' spirit and wrenched away their glory, lashing Trojans on. The father's will was set on giving glory over to Hector, son of Priam, that he might hurl his torch at the beaked ships, the force of fire, quenchless, reveling fire, yes, and bring to its bitter end the disastrous prayer of Thetis. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.